Hey y'all, and welcome to Storytime with Mr. Demby. Today, Mr. Demby's not feeling too well. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I wanted to get this story out on Election Day. Since last time on Election Day, we elected our very first female vice president. And so today is this will be the midterm elections. And I just want to read this fun story from Sherricka, Carpenter, Stanley, Through Our Eyes. Get ready. I hope your parents go out and vote. And y'all know what voting it is, just picking the person you want to be your leader. So, all right, when you get older, you will get to do it too. Come on, let's get into this story. All right, y'all, let's get into this book, Through Our Eyes. And it's basically about the inauguration of our our president and vice president, Kamala Harris. And I love the dedication in this book from author Sherricka. She says, this book is dedicated to every little girl whose name has been mispronounced. Because some people call her Kamala, so it's Kamala. Anyway, who's been mispronounced, who did not feel seen, heard, or who felt unsure of yourself. You are wonderfully you, and you are enough. Keep dreaming, Sherricka. And she signed my copy. We watched all day getting ready for the inauguration. We watched with our mommies and aunties and gammies, all of us. We watched in our chucks and pearls and t-shirts and colors, in outfits laid out the night before, representing in every way, posing with every snap. We watched in our tutus and hair bows, and with purses on our shoulders, in high-heeled shoes 3 times too big, and with hats on, 2 to be exact, because one just wasn't enough. No, we wanted to be fancy for this day. We watched with hope in our eyes and our mouths filled with curiosity as wow words came across the screen. Words that we had never heard, now added to our expanding vocabulary for later use. We watched with our fathers and brothers and uncles who voted for the first time. We told them it was okay to get into some good trouble. But now they really know, like we do, that every vote matters. Only silent voices go unheard. We stopped and watched from classrooms with fellow classmates and in workspaces with coworkers behind masks, not wanting to miss a moment, even if it was just the background soundtrack to our day. We took pictures and videos in front of TVs and in foyers with smiles bigger than the camera could even capture. Mask off for these, smiles don't lie. We needed to see more than just our hope-filled eyes. Did you all do that also? I did that the inauguration day because history was really being made. We asked the tough questions and learned the sometimes complex lessons of government and democracy. Still a little unsure of some of what we took in, but seeds were planted later for watering nonetheless. Make sure you're asking questions. It's okay to ask tough questions about why our government is the way it is and why things are the way it is. It's okay to ask questions. We watched the pomp and circumstance of centuries of tradition on display as you climbed stairs and walked into halls that now have to include women in the sequel. We watched as former first ladies walked onto the dia, clearing the red carpet walkway of the shattered glass that remained from the ceiling you had burst wide open. Some of them had cracked it just a little for you to break. Now, that is a saying people say it's a glass ceiling when you can only go so far up. And that's what they feel like Kamala Harris did. She cracked the glass ceiling. And you can see Michelle Obama there. And that's our our first lady, Jill Biden. And then Kamala. We watched as former presidents came together, having a partisan divide but unified humanity, still showing us how to lead, but now as citizens of our imperfect union. We loved hearing the national anthem from the lady and hearing this land sprinkled with Spanish refrains. That rendition of Amazing Grace turned that moment into a worldwide sing-along of poetic prayer. We watched with magical pride, hearing the expressions and seeing the hand gestures of bursting supernova in the form of a young poet laureate who adorned a red crown and a coat the color of sunshine and a caged bird ring from our own Auntie O. And she delighted us with all of her verses, sometimes Hamiltonian in flavor, reminding us there is always light. We witness history connect itself when you, the first Black South Asian woman to be elected vice president, place your left hand on the Bible of the first Black Supreme Court Justice. As the first Latina Supreme Court Justice swore you in, while the first Black president who appointed her watched, all in one frameable moment of first. We cried tears when you exclaimed, "So help me God," because we knew this was, as you say, American aspiration at its best. Knowing you are the first, but definitely not the last. And we inhaled the collective sigh of relief that our parents exhaled out. We watched them smile with beams of pride, giving us permission to adorn our own. We knew in that moment we could do anything. We watched you stand on shoulders that were anchored by our ancestors' wildest dreams. Now we get to stand on yours. As we peer into the future, writing our own her story, proclaiming like our t-shirts and hashtags say, "My VP looks like me." It's a lot of story in that picture. Starting with Ruby Bridges. We'll have to talk about that later. The ancestors looked down at you and smiled that day. The ancestors look up at you and smiled that day. And you received the look from the ones passing the baton. They looked at you and smiled that day. And you knew what had to be done, what we needed to be done. There's a lot of story in that picture. You can see a lot of our ancestors. And you went to work that day and we watched. Now we are watching Madam Vice President. And that's the end. But she does have a lot of things for understanding. So with you and your parents, there's some websites you can visit to learn different definitions and different things about the government. So I hope you all will go and do that. And if you order it from her website is called SherrickaCarpenterStanley.com, and it's called Wabash to Worthing Publishing. So if you order it, then she will sign it for you and send it to you. You will get your very own signed copy from Miss Carpenter Stanley. Excuse me. I hope you enjoyed Through Our Eyes. Hey y'all, I voted today. And so, when your parents go out and vote, they'll get a wristband like this or a sticker or something like that just to let everyone know that you voted. A lot of people fought so that everybody could get a chance to vote. So when you get 18, when you become 18 and you become eligible to vote, you should vote too. So then you'll get a little nice bracelet or a sticker too. I voted.